Good evening and welcome to the 29th season of the Town Street Theater. We are so happy to present the 4th anniversary already of Some Poetry, which is our spoken word program that was conceived and curated by May Mona Kamara and Glenn Phillip from 2019 through 2021. And now RJ Wayne is taking over the reins in that area along with Melissa Bowie. And we are so excited. I am Nancy Sherrill Davis. I am the artistic producing director of the Town Street Theater. We're going to go ahead and get started. Some great poets that we're bringing to you. We will be taking an intermission between the main stage poets and the open mic. And if you didn't sign up for the open mic already, we've got our 10 slots filled. We'll see if there's any extra time. We do want to have a conversation as well. We'll see how the time goes with everybody. So without further ado, we will get started. Thanks for coming, and I'll see you later.
So, true story. Yesterday, I was in the dining room, sitting down with my burger, overlooking some sourdough when something popped in my head. A wise and enlightened woman once said that we are more alike than unalike. True. But how many centuries, empires, regimes, republics, democracies, despots, kings and queens have to be uprooted and then we recede before we get it right? How many conflicts before we extend a hand, before we ball a fist to start a fight? How many gods do we believe in and follow until we internalize their ideals and not spread the message with fear and spite? How many third eyes need contact lenses until we finally advance the second sight? And in this world, where we stand next to each other, ignore one another, yet broadcast ourselves with the limitless power of this little tiny device I'm talking about tonight, what will we do to stay connected? Truly connected? How far will we go to be respected when it's easy to capitalize on a singular vibe, to use the premise and the pretense of life in order to gather people, yet push them aside? Or gaslight them and assure them it's fine? Or to let them forget that as human beings, if we don't all dream together, we die. Scientific fact, but y'all don't want to hear that because we trying to hustle through sleep and secure that bag. Right? Right? So, this obvious but often overlooked Trojan vessel presents some questions and some thoughts with some muscles that are harder to wrestle. Like, why do we seek each other out in the darkness once neglected? Why do we offer platitudes instead of genuine reflection? Why do sometimes we crash into each other just to feel the pressure? I think that after all this time, we're still just trying to be connected. And then I finished my burger. Welcome to Some Poetry 4. Thank you guys for being here. Before we get started, I just want to acknowledge that this would not be possible, of course, without Nancy Davis and the power structure of TST that has kept it strong for decades, but also Maymuna Kamara and Glenn Phillip, without which this show literally would not be possible. So it was gently placed in my hands, and I do what I can to honor that. This is the house, I'm just paying rent. So my second host I want to introduce for the first time to our TST viewers is the wonderful host of Poets Return podcast on wherever you can find podcasts, Melissa Bowie.
Hello, thank you, Ron. Thank you for having me. Town Street Theater I'm so honored to be a part of this in any capacity, let alone co-hosting. We're really excited to introduce all of our featured poets to you tonight, as well as our headliner, Rodnisha. I'm really excited for everyone to get to see the show that we've put together, which is really just a group of talented people talking about connection and sharing some of their art with you. So thank you again, TST, for giving us a platform to do that.
Absolutely. So first up, I like to joke around with him. I call him the Henry Hill of theater. He has gone everywhere, done everything, and like a man who has gone everywhere and done everything, he has some wonderful, beautiful, amazing stories to tell us. Please give it up for Raf Marvel.
Okay, I'm going to take you on a little journey through my life, starting with my parents and taking you through the time when I became a parent. And the first one is called The Son of Grace and Ralph. That wasn't their true names, Graciela and Raffaele, but Americanization and prejudice made the alterations. Immigrants with assimilation. What do we have here? Freedom. There are rights. We have rights. Ralph connived a way to meet, sitting in the middle of the steps so she couldn't get down without asking politely for him to move. Gracious grace overwhelmed him. Love blinded his reason, but it settled into a courtship that had wings and music. Music was the opera. He knew a guy, and so he could sneak her into the Metropolitan Opera House, 4th row. Had to pay for Broadway musicals, but come home with the glow and the album and the music. Dancing, big band, ragtime, Charleston, Neapolitan love songs. Later on, Louis Armstrong, Bing Crosby, Louis Jordan, Irving Berlin, and country too. Nobody ever mentions genres. Ride the American magic carpet of opportunity. A true partnership of practical dedication, hard work, faith, and extended family, more love and laughter, odd jobs to pay for extended education to find their niche, plenty of gourmet food to sustain the 2 jobs each day's work, grace and genius in the kitchen, and solid and reliable and upbeat at work, and eventually an executive. And after that, she owned her own store. Tough, gracious, and kind, by example, taught kindness to us, and consoling when prejudice is struck, physical maladies, accidents, or medical struck. By example, Ralph taught respect. All deserve it. Keep moving up the economic ladder toward a better life for the children. Sunday family dinners, 4 to 5 hours of 3 generations of family, laughter, and sumptuous delights. Right from wrong, they knew what we had to know. Discipline, when called for, came from the frustration. I'm not sure how to act or react. They were only human. It ended quickly, and later together they would reevaluate those in-the-moment reactions calmly, intelligently. A bastion of support for children soaring. Be a doctor? With all our might, support, scrimp, save, make contacts. Be an actor? Dad, in confidence, he had to pick the one field I don't know how to help him. A sister, newlywed now, they need a car. Drive this one to them. Core family, extended family, discord did not exist, not at the home of Grace and Ralph. The next one is called Maclay Avenue, the street I grew up on, in one of the places I lived in the Bronx. I was born in 1939 in a home not on Maclay Avenue. When we eased into the home at 2429, it was 3 generations of family, all in there, and all in there that were hated by some because we weren't them. Their families weren't strong for each other, but not on Maclay Avenue. Here, everyone felt like a sister or brother. The others called us names, said we couldn't sit in their church. You can't sit in our church. Go to the cellar to worship. Then we found one that never questioned. We took our celebrations out to the street where we couldn't even hear them if they hollered. Neighbors, if they came from this planet, their homes were next to ours. Colors, religions, nationalities, never mentioned. And the mothers all sticking their heads out the window to call us in for supper, playing stickball in the street, Passing cars were cautioned to get down off of there, guys. Men that sat on the folding chairs in the stoop would comment on how level our swing was or wasn't, told us to get down off the fence, watch out for broken glass, cheered our 2 sewer hits, mourned our strikeouts, and just minded us without being asked. The corner grocer who said the lady could pay her bill another time and then couldn't remember where he put her tab, and then gave great amounts of great greens for pennies. And when questioned, said, well, I had too many and they have to go. You do me a favor by taking them off of my hands. My Uncle Tony the Iceman, delivering ice in the hot summer, and when I asked for a piece, also gave each of my other 6-year-old friends a piece. Cousins lived nearby, were my best friends. Family dinners where the love and laughter was as abundant and delicious as the food. Lots of new beginnings in the new world. Awakenings to Irish nuns and Italian children. Oil and water. The pain and confusion in school evaporated at home. Sanctuary. Mama's heart big as all of us. Eyes, smile, hands, arms understood. Clean, orderly, flowing gently over the stones around the bends together. Family, faith, trust, freedom, opportunity. One tasty stew, a village compound, Maclay Avenue. Now I'll take you a little older to my brother. This is called my big brother, the doctor. Brother is spelled B-R-U-D-D-A. Doctor is spelled D-O-C-T-A-H. I, impressionable innocence, watched him talk, move, shift gears, laugh, ripe, ever-blossoming enthusiasm, copy, imitate, not quite. Bigger than life, wise, hummingbird quick, quip, as naive as a teen looking for a shiny dot of female recognition. Digesting betrayal, successes, unplanned life lessons taught, absorbed, and unconscious, severely burned black man on an emergency gurney, gently peeling off a piece of scorched flesh as thin as Scotch tape, and said, "This is the only thing that separates him from us." Treat the patient, the person, not the symptom, each as they are. Greet all with gusto, compliment peers, knowing wink to superiors, cordial and respect to strangers. Give, 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 selfless like mama, hidden kindnesses, influenced by example, honor dad's drive, unstated positive purpose, and empathize his foibles. Bursting proudly, lovingly and proud of him, how did they not explode? Nurture each offspring as they are, as different as snowflakes, a superhuman uncle to my fervent, earnest son. Swim long, run hard, eat wise. Call this healing sage for counsel, earnestly given freely, eager to help, and always right. Deferring praise like a closing flower in night shade. That paragon role model, be like him, never could. So be me, as I should. This is, as we got older and the family dinners became, well, like this. This is called Lasagna Christmas. The table was set for 8 or 10 and maybe 1 or 2 more. 3 or 4 generations watched as course after course of incredible food came through the kitchen door. Mama was always managing the helm at the stove, and at the table, Dad was anything but mild as he held the floor, making laughter bloom like flowers at the Christmas dinners when I was a child. Oh, I miss those long Christmas meals that went on for hours and hours. Between courses, the men would get up, walk, stretch, and sigh with delight, while the ladies clustered in harmonious accord to clear and serve with all their cheery might. When Mama asked whether we wanted turkey or lasagna, we would always reply, "Can't we have both?" And Mama would gladly comply. The laughter, the smiles, and the warm, happy chatter would fill the room with each passed around platter. After desserts of cake, pie, that was followed by a digestivo. If you listened real hard, in a select moment of quiet, you could hear the distant echo of Santa's ho, ho, ho. Now, this is called puberty, and this is after I became a parent. People, let me tell you about my best friend. He's a warm-hearted person who loved me till the end. People, let me tell you about my best friend. He's the one boy, cuddly toy, my up and down, my pride and joy. People, let me tell you about him. He's so much fun, whether we're talking man to man or whether we're talking son to son. Because he's my best friend. Yes, he's my best friend. Wham, bam, doors slam, evening meals together with no words spoken. Fits of private goofy laughter, each gasping to keep rids from spilling out. Probing questions that want 2-second answers. I've said too much, a clouded over stare. Where did he go? That bygone boy, never on guard. Now a teenage prodigious athlete, stowing secrets with friends. Answer the phone. Is he there? She hangs up. Call back 10 minutes later. Answer. There's a click. Teach him to drive, patient, understanding, the way mine taught me. He loses his temper if he doesn't do one small thing perfectly. Where did he go? That teach me how to do it when I get old? Then it was, let me get that. Is this what you wanted from the store? Where did he go? That 11-year-old who said he cleaned his room but didn't. One word and a look and he went back to make it right. Now can I have my allowance? The hormones lurched as puberty raised its diabolical head. And I loved you turned into screaming, why do I have to be home that early? It's my room and I like it this way. Well, will I ever find a way to make you laugh, little boy, again? Maybe. High five for an unassisted triple play in the 9th. After a track tournament, all city. In the morning after the junior prom, travel from up on my shoulders to see the parade to a sophomore in college. Maybe I'll get a, hey, Dad, what do you think I should do about this? Maybe. Never thought I'd hate puberty. Wonder if it would have been different if there was only one parent. If there wasn't only one parent. Or we had been the same color. Wandering through enchantment to mystified to finally, in his 20s, magically, preciously, best friends. We did a children's show together called The Magic Mirror for 15 years. We put it together and we did it in schools and in festivals and in theaters, and we won all kinds of awards. This is a song we put together from it. You can call it a planet or call it Mother Earth, but it's our precious garden, a gift from the universe. We all live here together with runny noses and bang knees in different shapes and colors like the flowers and the trees. With all these pretty colors, it's not only black and white. It takes all of us to make up this wondrous sight, this wondrous sight. We must work in the garden, we can all do our share. We should try to get along and to always be fair. Like the flowers in the garden, we need love and we need care. We must work in the garden, we can all do our share. If we don't play together, tend the garden day by day, then we can't grow and blossom in our own special way. It's not easy being green, red, yellow, brown, black, or white. Like the colors of the rainbow, we should all shine so bright. Reach your hand out to another, we all know right from wrong. Imagine peace and freedom, we've got to get along. I dream of ways to help my neighbors, help them to stand tall. We can stop the hurt with liberty and the crying with justice for all. We must work in the garden, we can all do our share. We should try to get along and to always be fair. Like the flowers in the garden, we need love and we need care. We must work in the garden, we must all do our share. And if I have a moment, there's a song I wrote for a musical that I wrote called Pull Down Your Pants. If there's anybody out there who wants to produce a musical, please let me know. It goes like this. Oh, yeah, I'm not kidding about that, by the way. A song about you doesn't need a chorus. A song about you doesn't need a verse. A song about you doesn't need anything. It just has to say, I love you. A song about you doesn't need a tempo. A song about you doesn't need a beat. So just say the word and I'm ready to go. You really swept me off my feet. Oh, you're a melodic tree. Well, you're on my mind when I sing in the shower. Your face floods my thoughts on my way to work. I could hug you for more than an hour. A song about you makes parts of me perk. A song about you Doesn't need a metaphor, a song about you. Doesn't have to rhyme. A song about you already knows what it's for. It just has to say you're sublime. Oh, I hum it all the time. Well, you're on my mind when I sing in the shower. Your face floods my thoughts on my way to work. I could hug you for more than an hour. A song about you makes parts of me perk. A song about you doesn't need a chorus. A song about you doesn't have to rhyme. A song about you doesn't need anything. It just has to say I love you all the time. I love you all the time. I love you. Thank you. Good night.
That was amazing. Thank you so much, Rafi, for opening so strong for us tonight with our featured poets. Our next poet is a writer, producer, actress, someone that I've known for over 10 years, which I realize ages us, but that's okay because I think we're wiser in our 30s. Elena Scarlett Murray isn't just an amazing poet in my eyes, she's also an amazing poet in Los Angeles. She was named in 2019 one of the 64 best poets by Black Mountain Press. She's also published in such local publications as the Kingdom of Pavement and the Howling Press. She's worked in local workshops and studied with the Poetry Lounge and Spoken Lit. And two of the pieces she's going to be performing tonight, Millennial and Maybe Metaphors Will Help, were actually published in the Burning River Anthology. So without further ado, please welcome Elena Scarlett Murray.
Thanks all for having me. I'm very happy to be here. So this is called Skeleton Woman. There is an Inuit legend about the skeleton woman, a woman thrown from a cliff by her people to forever haunt the water she drowned in as a skeleton, until one day she is reeled in by her fishermen and her whole existence changes. Their whole existence changes. See, it's about duality. It's about the shadow and the light. It's about how a woman has two parts that need one another and need to be accepted by her lover. As the great Dr. Clarissa Pinkola Estes calls it, the life-death-life cycle of the wild woman. I could never do psychedelics with you because we never loved the bad parts of each other wholly. Rather terrified of being the concrete rather than the rose that breaks through it, I could never lay myself bare in your hands somehow clenched into fists and never open, ready to receive. The trouble with not loving someone's shadow, someone's monster, someone's wild, is that their other side will shrink. This monster thrives on fear of it. It will chase you if you ignore it. And the more it feeds, the more it grows until all that's left is the thing that you fear. You were so afraid of my monster, and she knew it. She wanted to leave you shaking in your boots, coming face to face with what you saw in her that was so terrifying, until you wrapped her in your arms, unclanged her bones, and let her drink from your tears. I was so afraid of your monster. Never knowing what it would say, always being shocked when it did speak, never thinking it could be true, never accepting that this part of you could be something I loved instead of feared. It's no wonder that entering the in-between world with all barriers torn down, letting our wild nature run as free as it always wants to run, ferocious and unyielding, made the drum of my heart beat faster and faster as though it were brandishing a battle cry, embracing itself for the death of complacency. How I wish we too could have turned sight into sky eyes, basking in the light and the shadow, mixing the two in creation of flesh and spirit, embracing both sides and becoming whole, for one cannot survive without the other. And perhaps one day we can. Push our petals through that concrete, break the nothing and the everything to meet somewhere in the middle and finally see both monsters whole. I got a few more. All right, this one is called Millennial. Catastrophic thinking is a psychological term referring to ruminating on irrational worst-case outcomes. For example, you notice one day on your back from an angle you don't normally see yourself, an odd-looking patch of skin. For one who is normal, all this would produce would be a shrug and a sigh and a mental note to keep an eye on it, or to do nothing at all. For one who thinks catastrophically, it would produce panic, obsessive reading of online medical journals, numerous attempts of treating it at home soon as possible, calls to nurses' lines, lying awake until finally, drive yourself to urgent care. It's a pimple. You see, I have catastrophic thoughts. I lie awake at night theorizing which worst-case scenario is going to get to me first. What could possibly happen to me? What will definitely happen to me? That smoke alarm that chirps for no reason is defective, and carbon monoxide is poisoning me while I sleep, so I can't sleep. I should probably leave, so I do at 1 o'clock in the morning. That quick pain in my chest, the drum beats jumping to conclusions of the looming heart attack, a rapid-fire soundtrack to check your heart rate every 2 minutes just in case it starts to go down and you can relax. But the percussion builds and builds and builds each time. I'm obviously going to die. And that's the common thread. The ever-present finger happy on my trigger, the only thing and the nothing I fear, death at any moment. My generation, catastrophic catastrophes made from loss. The generation of terrorist attacks live over breakfast before school, a bulletproof backpack and a YOLO chest plate. The best generation. Above minimum wage without health care because you're buried in debt for an education and no semblance of security. You mock us, but we are the ones who are fighting. We're the ones changing. Life is a catastrophe. Obsessive thought and radical action is the only option. We are the ones fighting for our lives, marching in the streets like toy soldiers, going to war with circumstance daily, screaming to the rest of the world, don't take me yet, I'm not ready to go. There is so much I haven't done. But maybe metaphors will help. My anxiety tastes like a puddle of spit behind your cheeks when you know what's coming up won't rid you of the feeling that sits in your sternum, slowly cracking the bones like a cup of coffee you keep sipping even though it burns your tongue. It's sour and salty and signifies a mutual understanding between what was and what will be that pulls the air from your lungs, leaving you asking, who invited you? My anxiety constricts my insides, squeezing tighter to block any passage of good feelings or love for myself, because this feeling is my fault anyway, isn't it? Like a python, lying beside me, elongating its scales to size up my length before it swallows me whole. My anxiety grabs and squeezes and eats, wringing me out like a used dish towel dripping with murky water absorbed from the absence of light. My anxiety is a blood-red apple lodged in my throat, preventing me from speaking, from naming, from explaining what this feeling is, why I feel like this in the first place. What happened that made me swallow such a large fruit so long ago that I can't remember or decide what the truth is? My anxiety would be invisible if I did not name it. My anxiety is very good at hiding and blending in. My anxiety cannot take a large enough breath. My anxiety stares at the wall, trying to make sense of too many thoughts and feelings happening at once. My anxiety makes people leave without them recognizing why they're leaving. My anxiety is a skilled assassin, throwing knives into relationships and piercing fleshy comfort until it scars over, bumpy and calloused. My anxiety doesn't trust anyone, not even my own voice, so clear and sensical most times. My anxiety is that toxic person you can't seem to get rid of, who perpetually stirs your pot black, and who, if I met in real life, I would never be friends with. My anxiety is obsessive. It refreshes and refreshes and refreshes the page until something changes. My anxiety reads text messages casually. It's not spying if you just happen to glance over. My anxiety does nothing. It is easier to hide, but it doesn't make it better. My anxiety second guesses everything. Why would you choose me? You're bored. You're going to leave, knowing all the while why you'll leave, why they all leave. My anxiety doesn't want them around. My anxiety does everything it can to get them to walk away. My anxiety is my best friend and my worst enemy, and my anxiety will win if I let it. but I haven't lost yet. One more? This is one that I'm really excited about, that I love a lot, and I haven't performed a lot, so I'm excited about to share it though. This is called The Cool Girl. Preface. The cool girl is a female character trope born from male-penned literature and film that has seeped into modern dating culture. Begin. Let me tell you about the cool girl. The cool girl always knows what to say to make you think, did she come up with that on the spot? Does her brain dance in swirls and wriggles of delectable syllables, simultaneously disarming you with her effortless charm, the quippy anecdote, the perfect retort? The cool girl is a master of Instagram captions that say, I'm naturally clever and let me draw you in with my detached mystery. I make sophisticated jokes that say I'm worldly and independent and could care less what you think. The cool girl has I woke up like this, down to a science, perfectly disheveled and unkempt, except for the flawless skin and hair acquired through claimed genetics, never revealing how hard they actually work for what they've achieved. The cool girl drinks whiskey and stays up late. She is a cake song, brandishing her justice nails into an open mouth, wanting to say what she thinks, but hiding behind the image she's carefully crafted. The cool girl has hobbies like woodworking and kombucha brewing, knows the perfect hidden spots to visit, jets off to Europe at a moment's notice, breaks into abandoned pools at night, and is just good friends with your ex. The cool girl is awash in mystique, never giving too much away, down for anything, has the most chill, is an exhibitionist, a hedonist, a pleasure seeker, a dream maker, a real-life dream girl who doesn't care if you blow her off or change her mind or use her. She's a fantasy. The cool girl is not like other girls. She is their antithesis. She's game, she's down, she doesn't need you. She treats you mean and sucks you off when you reject her, because to why work to please when she's so easy, breezy, beautiful, cover your mouth if it's not closed or only open to receive me. She's cool in a way I'll never be, perfectly curating her life so you see what she wants you to, while I talk too much and show my hand, wearing a costume of her until it becomes too uncomfortable to keep on. Because the cool girl is a costume. The cool girl is an illusion. The cool girl was created by men to let them have their cake and eat it too more often than they already do. The cool girl is another box to put us in, squishing us small and compact, convenient for you when you want it, discardable when you don't. Everything you have ever wanted, but only on your terms. An excuse to walk all over a woman who desperately wants to be accepted, hides her true feelings to keep you there, puts on a front to mask her pain, and is willing to compromise where you aren't, simply because when you describe her to your friends, you say she's so cool. Conclusion. That's all she wants. Because cool means right. Cool means good. Cool means accepted. Cool means exciting. Cool is everything to a woman in this heteronormative world where woman, to too fucking many, means nothing. Thanks for having me on.
All right, let's keep it going. Our next featured poet, that was amazing. Our next featured poet is Caleb Miller White. He is originally from Dallas, Texas. He's an actor, producer, writer, and his writing portfolio is very versatile. He has studied sketch writing, screenwriting, poetry, and rap, and does all of them. And a lot of his training and experience came from his time in New York, where he also trained and studied with a lot of different improv workshops and theaters. So without further ado, here's Caleb Miller White.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. All right, let's get started. So this first piece is called Am I Waiting in Vain? And it's the newest piece I've written. So this is the first time performing it. Like a shot through the veins, I am partial to pain. With my palm to the pain, am I waiting in vain? Now, before you weigh in with the wait is not worth it, before you suggest to withdraw, to go fishing, to think with my brain, to be full from the wishing, something has clicked, and finally I see your bait, invariably a catch indeed. Do not peg me the fool, then presume I need pity. I've shown you my hand. I've grown up in this city. Not much do I mind the game of the weight, for we take our steps at differing paces. My shoes double knotted, you've tripped on your laces. Gravitate to the water where the sand meets Pacific. Navigate the shoreline, dip your toes in the sea. There's plenty you see, not many like me. Captivate play dates, new follows, day mates, while I sit and wait to be read like old news. Patiently waiting for the day you say, they're welcome overnight and now overstayed. Lend a handmade card, mandate, trademark to sleep, overwrite all our wrongs into rights, losing count of the days to consecutive nights. Your swings and your jabs, impact of a pillow fight. You habitually know how to soften the blow. A master in the art of letting me go. A true gentle man even through the year's end. There was a reason for that season, that brutal December. The ruby winter left me cold, left me bitter. The spring of seclusion groomed me to get better. The summer a bore, for I'm loyal to a fault, and I could not escape the inevitable fall. Falling for you be a slippery circle. For you, my prince, you are always in season. Judy told me to love you, come rain or come shine. Come dizzying NATO, come soaring tsunami, ferocious typhoon, show to be true the damage you do. I'm a natural at surviving disastrous disappointment and at flipping the script that the past isn't poison. An expected plot twist when you let us reminisce. Unable to pick a shirt out to wear, unable to pick a meal to take out, unable to pick a spot to make out, unable to stick to the time or the place we both agreed upon and jointly prearranged. Did you think my schedule could be nimbly rearranged? Did you think I would flex, fearing we would be estranged? In your balancing act, I tipped the scale. I planned and prepped for the all-you-can-eat. But now there's a wait. My love language translates into an act of service, mindful to not put too much on your plate. Your lady in waiting with knees bent to your beckoning call. Your ticking time bomb with zip lip balm, you enthrall without force, I submit to the stall. Not all blind turns have a need to be seen. Not all held hostage will plead to be free. The toll this takes is never what it seems. But I don't like change, so I'll always pay the fee. Pay the ultimate price before I throw in the towel. And your back I will pay, lest you throw me away. If I assure you are worth it, why question the wait? Am I waiting in vain? I'm waiting in faith. Thank you. This next one is called Argumentative, and I think that's pretty self-explanatory, so let's get into it. To put it bluntly, your words burn, and I get overheated. I get overwhelmed, but never defeated. Overcompensate, stepping up to the plate, throw diplomacy overboard when overlooked from your high horse, powerless to pinpoint the press button, sending me over the edge. It isn't until our quarrel commences, my senses awaken to the plain devastation of my stubborn defenses. Perceive with unease that underneath the surface of a tranquil tete-a-tete lies deeper seas of insecurities. So please understand the stance I have stably stated mustn't be mocked or be underrated. Understand my side, hardly the kind to be debased, to be undermined. Understand nothing gets under my skin quite like an underestimated opinion. Let us gather for a picnic in the middle ground of our minefield. Let us break bread with the butter knife that cuts our tension. Let us toast to our tie, for a winner will not emerge from this puzzling crossfire. And to conclude, to subdue this boiling feud, let me secure my muzzle in place, leaving only a narrow space fit for a sliver of mother's homemade humble pie. A compromise is not strictly a consolation prize, and I do not lose if I choose to disengage. When there is one final word I am needing to say, serene Irene appears, and I hear, no, my dear, you need to learn when to walk away. Thank you. And this next one is called No Closet Could Contain. A little background about this one. I wrote this back in 2016 in the season leading up to the presidential election of that year. Words are not just words. Listen to these words. Your words are not just words. Words hold weight. Words escape. Words we carefully choose, words we carelessly lose. We wear our words every day. Our words can inspire and inform. Our words can divide. Our words can weave lies, and these lies can soar into the ears of the impressionable. Your words, sir, are simply absurd. Jumbled jargon from a heart so hardened. Your words, sir, evoke hate and disdain, disguised as a promise to make a nation great. Again, your words, sir, confirm just how low you're willing to go to be the star of the show. And at the end of the day, I ask God not to declare myself the winner, but rather for the strength to endure the losses, and that in these losses I shall not lose the vision. Anything we envision can come to be, and when vision meets action, we can greet a new reality. So take heart, take part in writing our legacy. Michelle told us, when they go low, we go high. So I will levitate and elevate above the limited mind. I've come to find that the limited mind strives to categorize, then subdivide into black, white, left, right, fists clenched, ready to fight. For you are wrong and I am right. Opposing groups with opposing ideals, putting up a shield to how another may feel when it does not coincide with how they feel inside. The limited mind lessens the experiences of others rather than learning the lessons others can teach us. The limited mind stubbornly clings to the things of the past, gasping for air in their narrow horizons. The limited mind created the comfort zone. I never understood this desire to stay safe. Even as a young kid, I welcomed the risk. Dared to explore like Lewis, determined to discover like Edison, destined for greatness, and silently longing to venture outside the box of limitations and expectations. Box me in and I will claw my way out. I will embrace a face that does not reflect my own, but rather reflects the world around me. This colorful cast of characters who embody joy amidst depression, who hold on to hope when their rights are in question. I invite the limited mind to join this sky-high rainbow ride. I remain kind to those lagging behind, but I'll be damned if I don't set my own privilege and pride aside and stand on the right side of history. We all have a closet to come out of. What are you hiding from? Why are you afraid to let the world see you fully? Is it because this world is riddled with bullies and all too often we give the bully our power? We cower in fear as the bully reduces us to below market rate, takes our power, minimizing our God-given worth to the dirt of the earth. From here on out, I'm giving myself the permission to live big, to exist in extravagance, to take up space, to not be such a closet case. No closet could contain a complex creation such as this. I'm allowed to be proud, and it's allowed to be loud, and I'm finally at peace with standing out in the crowd. The rain clouds that dim my shine, they are no friend of mine. This little light of mine, it's time to let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine till the bullies go blind. Our expression of love shall be sublime, for our expression of love is not a crime. Our expression of love need not be debated or speculated or validated. We were created in a perfect image, and who we love is personal business. So don't come at us with your hateful rhetoric, Mr. Pence. Matter of fact, go suck a dick. You might like it. And on that, I have one more. It's a short one. And this is a recent one I wrote too. It's called To Text and to Drive. I know the merged road was under construction, that there was work ahead still left to be done. I know the men working could pave a new lane, make you stop to resign that you went the wrong way. And I notably know sometimes all you need is an open road and space to roam to notice the notion of missing your home. You might be tempted to now let me know, but we both know better than to text and to drive. So keep your eyes on the road you chose to go alone. We wouldn't want you to miss your exit. Thank you.
Okay, getting hot up here. And it's not just the lack of air conditioning. All right, so next up is another TST veteran coming back to us. I've had the pleasure of performing with her a number of times. And every time that I do, she always gives me something new to think about. And I appreciate her presence and her love here to touch this space with her words. So please welcome Jocelyne Flores.
This first piece is called American Brown Girl. I'm very excited to perform it, and I'm excited to be back. American Brown Girl after New American Best Friend by Olivia Gadwood. American Brown Girl is a synonym for you don't belong here. Dear American Brown Girl, show me your worth. Girl, show me your most American side. Prove patriotism to me. Wear the colors of your country's flag. Don't you just love this country? Show me just how much you want me on the 4th of July. Carry my colors on your back. Show red off when your period arrives. Plaster blue on your face when your depression comes back. Wear white through your voice. Maybe something will get through this time. Tell the world I am also here. Dear American girl, you have learned a perfect recipe for your voice. You have learned to mimic the longevity of words like a valley girl. You travel to another country for the first time, and this is your most American you. The stranger you meet asks you about Hollywood. Do you live there? Who do you know? Brown American girl, you must have it all. You make up a story about summer camp and sneaking out to parties to kiss a boy and not ever getting caught. And you show off the name of your favorite beach and the best place to go to when you want to lose yourself. But when you get home, only the white American girls will have known your story. Your mommy will remind you in the morning when she sits you in the front of the mirror as she pulls your hair back into a ponytail with the brush so that you'll be ready for school that yes, you are American, but you are a brown girl. Girl, you have to prove you belong here. She'll pull out the check and show you her withered, calloused hands. Mira, I do this for you. Then she'll point to the window. The birds are perched on the phone line. The young kids are being loud. Hay mucha vida. Then she'll tug as she braids your hair and scold you when you don't sit still. I'm so restless, she says. I cannot afford to just sit there and look pretty. No me pagan por chula. I sigh, brown mother, I have known this my entire life. This next piece is called Whatever It Is. Our mothers are the kind of women to tell us to be good girls, who never talk about sex with us, who go to church on Sundays and kneel on the pews, say their Hail Marys, say a little prayer, only to put a front at the face of God because somewhere behind closed doors they're in doomed marriages. They should have sensed it on their wedding night how loveless that first fuck was. We are the kind of daughters that go to church but burn it down. We don't make a martyr out of men until we find one to love, until we love each other, and the necklace he gives you hangs around your neck like a rosary and makes you saint in his eyes. We are the kind of girls to cuddle beneath blankets. You trace your fingers on mine. We teach each other what it's like to hold hands. I pull the makeout bags from my mother's restroom and sit on top of you, picking out the prettiest shades that make your eyes pop. And you want to cry when you feel the tip of the eyeliner pen hit your eyelids. Shush. My mother is a light sleeper. You pucker up your lips and I say, block now. There's a horror movie playing in the screen, but the fear is never knowing how long you'll stay in bed with me. Boys in town call us girlfriends, and I guess they're not wrong because you are my friend. You are a girl, and I love you. My period comes first, and we ride our bikes to the nearest liquor store, and I hide a pack of pads and tampons underneath my sweater because our mothers never taught us what to do with this, our bodies. Yours comes around the next summer. Something always happens in the summer. But anyways, I've shown you how to wrap the bloody evidence, how to make sure no one ever knows something was murdered here. Innocence, maybe. On Christmas, you steal a bottle of your parents' non-alcoholic sparkling cider, and we are so young and silly and girl, we pretend to be drunk women, the kind to keep lovers around, a cigarette after sex, the dim of a lamp in a dingy hotel room. On bad days, you sleep next to me, your arm draped next to my torso. Could we be girls that stay like this forever? You're the kind of sacred that everyone should revere. I take Polaroids of you in the best light. I pray to you, though I don't have much to believe in. But on prom night, we ditch the stupid boat and instead we go to our favorite lookout, the one with the swing and the tree trunk where your brothers carved your initials into. I take a pack of cigarettes and light one, exhale, inhale, until everything gets dizzy and I kiss you. You're the kind of love that not everyone deserves, but everyone seems to want. Okay, this next one is called How to Love a Friend and it's dedicated to one of my close friends. It begins with missing them, like, hello, I miss you, call me back. And maybe it's something deeper like, I wish I could go back in time when I was a child and meet you on the playground. You could get a callus on your hands from swinging your body and I glare up at you while the sun is hitting my face and have my arms ready for you in case you'd fall. You would show me your hands and I press a soothing kiss like my mother did and tell you all better. We could play pirates. I'll take the lower deck and watch out for enemies who look so much like our parents. We could get hungry and I'd share my fries with you. Maybe I could have climbed into your bedroom window while the storm raged outside, my shoes muddied and wet and I leave them by the windowsill. I would know you're scared by the tremble of your hands and I do my best to braid your wavy hair and I tell you it looks so much like the ocean. And sometimes the jealousy, like I'm jealous of all the other people who get to love you. Though I don't say it to be mean. I'll say people love you and I'm one of many. And maybe you won't believe me, but you've got your mother's face and your father's wit and your sibling's heart. How can anyone not love you? Finally, you love a friend by having hope. Like, I hope you have a nice day. I hope you never have nightmares. I hope you always keep dreaming. I hope time is kind to us. I hope this tethered line between us never breaks. I hope you find love. I hope your city always misses you. I hope you don't miss your bus. I hope that you always smile. I hope you dance to your favorite song. I hope you find love. I hope my mind remembers you when I'm older, though I'd say you're the kind of special no one could forget. I hope you're okay. And this last one is called Ode to This Quiet Home. Ode to the rugged cliff as the edge of the sea, how it reminds me of my heartbreak at 17. The ocean waves undulate into themselves as I breathe, but time is so much kinder to me now. And my lover, she holds my hand and pulls me back. We are so safe here. And my lover, she can only be trusted to make a cup of coffee, and its sweet taste is something so unmatched. Look at how she pours it into my favorite cracked mug. It's a sight to behold. But she's oh so reckless. There's a burnt toast on the table and another fake plant sitting on the living room. She cries at the sight of a train and I squeeze her hand. I promise I'm not leaving. But my mother asks how I could love such a wretched girl. And what she doesn't know is her sweet song voice, the smile on her face, the way she tiptoes as she stretches in the morning, the way she holds our babies on the front porch. That's what makes her my forever love, in this lifetime and the next, I hope. The grass is dewy underneath our feet and the fog is hanging low. There's nothing but the sound of fireflies and the croaks of frogs. The stars shine for us and they listen to our prayers that each day brings solid ground. And my lover and I, we sit next to the fireplace as she reads to me. My head will rest upon her knee and our babies will be sleeping in their beds. I'll walk outside the next morning and kiss the ivy that grows on the cobblestone of our home. Our home. How sacred it is to say that. Our home where there are books lining our shelves and my lover's laughter rings like a sweet melody that matches my harmony. Our home that sits by the lake. The water is calm and it won't drown us. Our home with the markings of the heights of our children. It'll watch us grow. Our home that will carry our brittle bones until we are nothing but ash, but our children will release us to the sea and we'll come back here. Our home. My lover, my home, it's all the same. Thank you.
Okay, so we have now reached the main event. And I could go on and talk about this person forever, but suffice to say that when I was first on this stage, the very first night, performing for Town Street, I was invited here by Glenn Phillip, who did the first Some Poetry right here on the stage. So I knew that 2 years later, we had to go back to the essence. Another person that was with me when I did that is the person that's about to perform for you right now. And I am always touched and gripped by the beauty of their humanity and the things that they write. And I've been a fan ever since. And so she was not able to be here today in this physical space, but she's going to join us via Zoom. And I would love to present to you Rodnisha Ford.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, RJ, for your loving words. Always love. It's such a blessing to be back at Some Poetry for the fourth year. I am loving it all. So much love to all of you. Yeah, it's good times. Love all the poets. Love and light to all of y'all. Thank you. So we can go ahead and jump in. I know the theme is family and connection. So this first piece I actually wrote recently, and I think that it's very fitting as we're all here. Poetry brought us all here. And so, yeah, I want to share this first piece with you all. It's called My Love Letter to Poetry. So I hope you vibe with it. This is my love letter to poetry. For all of the times that you held me close, refusing to shake loose the grip on my heart, these words are for every space you created for me to heal. And for the many ways you pushed me to grow, I flow now into certain understanding that you, we, I will forever face the world head on, and together we can accomplish anything. You poetry are my first true love. Shelter in the midst of storms so loud that they could shake heaven. When I lost her, my tears did indeed shake heaven, and you held them, every one, with the tenderness and joy that I myself couldn't even fathom. You brought me all that I needed to grieve. As you reminded me that now it's time that I rejoiced in life too. You are my first love, and play is your middle name. Now it's time that I dive deep into the belly of it all as my spirit plunges into the ocean of the skies. Our love is one ongoing, and you, poetry, are forever my first love. Thank you. That's the first piece. Again, I wrote that one recently. Hope you all like it, since poetry brought us here in connection together. All right, so I have a few more for y'all, 3 more. The next one that I'm going to go ahead and get into, it's a statement and a reminder to all of us of our own power and all of the spaces from which we can get our power. And just a reminder to us that we are all connected and we are more than just physical bodies. So looking forward to sharing it. You ever wake up and your body just decides that it ain't gonna act right no more? Like last night, y'all was super cool, chilling, vibing, generally doing what thugs do. But today, somehow you woke up with new aches and pains, like your body is yelling, hey, little homie, you thought, but not today. Yeah, I know that hearing this can make it hard to find a reason to survive. So let me remind you that our bodies are not all that we are. We are spirit, flying high above the heavens as we commune with angels and chill amongst the stars. We are mind, waiting for moments of vast possibilities of existence, just waiting for us to think up and grab them. We are more than our bodies tell us that we can be. We can move mountains, even without moving our lips. Just think about it, because that's the power that we carry. Our bodies do not need to feel whole in order for us to know that we are. Stop believing that we can't. Stop believing that we can't. Stop. Breathe. And remember that our existence shakes the world to its very core. Like the shifting tectonic plates of Mother Earth, so too does our bodies shift and move, adapting to new environments as we stay ready, standing firm in the essence of our being, as we realize that mind and spirit work with our bodies to make us whole. So even on days where we wake up and our bodies just decide that they ain't gonna act right no more, let's hold our heads up and remember that we are so much more than battered bodies. Y'all, we are magic. Thank you. That was the second piece for y'all. I have another one we're going to jump into. This is called Black Excellence, and it is on just that, Black Excellence. So I'm here to stand in that in all the ways. So let's go ahead and get to it. Today we celebrate because our Black excellence that lives in our Black bodies takes up more space than the 28 days of February can offer us. Here, within these Black bones, live a history of stories never told, as our smiles emit a magic that brightens up the entire world. In solidarity, we stand on the backs of giants as we glide on the wind of the wings, as our ancestors lay nestled in the stars and guide us towards revolution, as they remind us that we have carried the heartache of generations before for far too long. They told me that it is time for us to lay those burdens down. So may struggle be a name that we answer to no more. Instead, let our freedom ring loudly as it vibrates through the mountaintops. Let the spirit of celebration infiltrate our beings until we learn to never stop dancing in the stardust that made us. We are mystical, beautifully and wonderfully made in the image of all things greatness. We are powerful, Unable to be stopped by the offenses of the true minority, we are united in our freedom and tied together in our evolution for today. And every day after, these healing Black bodies will take up all the space, and we will refuse to accept anything less, because liberation is meant to flow through us all. Black, queer, brown, here, you, me, we are free. So let's flow in peace. Thank y'all. That was Black excellence. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, let's have one more for y'all. This actually is a piece that I wrote a few years ago, and it was put on my heart as I was looking through my poems. I'm like, what do I need to hear? That's how I like to connect with my poems. What do I need to hear so that others will be inspired by these words? So I hope that every single one of us, as we're sitting and thinking and reflecting on connection and family and what that truly means to us, what connects us from the very beginning is the elements, earth, all of it. So I hope that this last piece, reminds us to stay connected with that and to continue to always be wild and free. So thank you all. Thank you, Sun Poetry, for having me. As always, you all are always great. It is nothing but love. And yeah, so this is Wild and Free. Sometimes we can't yet hear the power of our own voices, or yet feel the magnitude of our own steps, our heartbeats, and we are afraid of the space that the vibrations will occupy. We are wild, not tamed by anything meant to hold us back. Sometimes we break down, and in those moments, the universe likes to send us an angel to keep our heads off the ground, reminding us that we should always hear the power in our own voice and be able to feel the magnitude of our own steps when our heart beats. Taking up space should be the only thing that the vibrations are meant to do, because we are beasts, wild, free, untamed. We are not here to be silenced, not here to be afraid to break down. Universe made us wild and free for a reason. How dare we disrespect her by being anything less? So thank you to all the angels that remind us that our existence is not an accident. And thank you for pushing us to take up space. Thank you for not being afraid to take up space with me. And thank you for remembering to always simply be wild. Thank you. It's all love.
Down street, down street. We're looking at down street. We're looking at, you're looking at, they're looking at down street. We're looking at down street. We're looking at, you're looking at, they're looking at down street. We're looking at down street. We're looking at, you're looking at, they're looking at down street. We're looking at down street.